Hello friends, we are Malachi 3. We will allow the scriptures to speak for themselves. Look what this says. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day, when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serves him. The number one attribute of a true believer is a deep reverence for God, a fear of God. And we will go through more scriptures that prove this. Remember that David said, "Who is the man who fears the Lord? He will instruct him in the way he should choose." That's Psalm 25:12. David had a deep reverence, a deep respect and fear of the Lord. And we see this throughout all the scriptures. Unlike the Pharisees, who had no reverence of God, they would use the scriptures to undermine God's word to get to benefit them in some way, usually a monetary way. So they knew the scriptures. They were out in the synagogues praying, fasting, and doing all these things, but they had no fear of the Lord. So the number one attribute of a true believer is the fear of the Lord. And we're going to go through the scriptures. We're going to be in Deuteronomy 10. And now Israel. Now, I know Israel is those who have the fear of the Lord. So remember that. What doth the Lord thy God require of thee but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes which I command thee this day for thy good. Remember that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's Proverbs 1:7. And remember, Solomon said at the end of the book of Ecclesiastes that the whole matter is to fear God and keep his commandments. So this is all through the scriptures, my friends. This is not an isolated thing here. And now we go to Hebrews. Wherefore, we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace whereby we may serve God acceptably with reverence and godly fear. For our God is a consuming fire. I showed you throughout all of the scriptures that the number one attribute of a true Christian is one who has great reverence, a fear, a godly fear, knowing who God is, and has respect for his word. These are people that honor God, and it says they serve him.